College Cup is washed up on the shores of Southern California. It's Championship Sunday in San Diego after a memorable Friday night of semifinals. Sent in by Evans, and Penn State wins it in overtime. And for the first time in history, the Nittany Lions will play for the national championship. With a goal with 4 minutes left in overtime, a chance here, and it's over. The golden goal in the 105th minute. The Tar Heels and the Nittany Lions set to go for a national championship. To decide the national championship. Hi, I'm Beth Mullins, along with two-time Olympic gold medalist and two-time World Cup champion Julie Foudy. And Julie, of course, we're all very familiar with all the off-the-field adversity going on around the Penn State athletic department over the last year. But this group has been a real bunch of troopers getting through all of that and overcoming adversity on the field as well.
Yeah, how about starting the season without your two starting senior center backs and having to switch to a formation they had never played before. They go into this 3-5-2, something they've been playing all year. They're going to play even in the back against North Carolina's three front, but pay particular attention to these three in the midfield, because that's where Penn State's numbers are. They have a number advantage in the midfield, and Christine Nairn, their senior captain, has been phenomenal this year. So she is going to be critical for Penn State tonight.
First time into the finals. They looked very poised, though, in the semifinals on Friday. They'll be going up against the program with all the history, the great players, the great championship teams, and they think they've got another very special player that they will feature today.
Crystal Dunn, she is a game changer. Many people saw her with the under-20 Women's World Cup team. U.S. won that over the summer, but she is phenomenal. A game changer that can come in. She's played all three lines for North Carolina this year, and mostly at center back, but you're going to see she only has 5 goals this year because she hasn't even played up top. She's in the midfield this year in the postseason in the attacking central midfield position, but she is a special player. Watch for her tonight running the show for North Carolina.
Wearing that number 19 jersey, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, who has moved up to an attacking midfield position. It's a uniform once worn by Mia Hamm, and the legend is in the house today. A winner of 4 national championships, looking to see if they can add another one. They've had the great players in Hamm and Lilly. 26 appearances in the College Cup, 17 times they've had the best player in the nation, and they're starting to run out of jerseys to retire. 17 of them have been put away in their 20 national championship seasons. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College Cup, getting set for a kick in our national championship with North Carolina and Penn State. Tar Heels will be in all blue. Penn State in the white jerseys with the blue shorts. It is their first appearance in the finals for the Tar Heels, the 24th time they have played for the national championship. They are 20-3 in their championship games. Keeper down and we are underway for the national championship. And as you alluded to, Julie, both these teams love to bring 3 into the attack. They also play 3 along the back row. Could provide some interesting scoring opportunities today.
And Erica Walsh, I asked her if she was looking at changing that 3-back to a 4-back, and she said, easiest coaching decision I've ever had to make. I don't have any other fullbacks to put back there. We're staying in the 3-back.
For the Tar Heels, Maria Lebrano with the shot off the deflection. Summer Green's got it in the area, tried to play it back in front. Not the best effort there. All the way back out to the Tar Heels. A collision near midfield will turn it over. They'll be looking for the speed of Maya Hayes, number 5 in the white jersey. And back to handle it is Satara Murray, the sophomore out of Austin, Texas.
And already 2 very good glimpses into keys for these teams tonight.
Over the top, looking for Ojai, who had the golden goal in the semifinals. Cuts it back to the right foot and strikes it home for UNC.
that right there is one of them. Kalia Ohai, fast. She loves to go with that back line. She's playing it a tight line, and you can see she just takes a good touch here, cuts it back, finds a window, and roofs this. But too much space for a player like that to be able to turn, cut, and then crank it on goal. And what a perfect start to the game for North Carolina, who wanted to press early.
In the second minute, Ohai with the goal, assisted by Murray, and the Tar Heels jump out quickly. There'll be some sun issues today for the keepers to that end, the right side of this field today, and that would be Addie Gay to start things off for Carolina. What a rocket off the foot of Ohai.
And that's the challenge all game for this group, is when you're playing Penn State 3 in the back, you're living on the edge there.
They turn it over again, and they're scoring third. Summer Green unable to link it up with Crystal Dunn. Backtracking to get it is Weber. This is Evans, number 18 in white. So strong along the middle of that field, and Ball able to get a boot on it to kick it back to Gay. A couple of threatening runs already here for Maya Hayes for Penn State, handled by the three-back defense for Carolina. Hayes is the junior out of West Orange, New Jersey, the Big Ten Forward of the Year. And a Penn State team that dominated the conference, went undefeated, won every major award. Lebrano, this is Dunn. Crystal Dunn able to send it back out in front, still not out of trouble, and then finally cleared out of there by the Nittany Lions. Here come the Heels again. Green keeping the cross low, throwing UNC.
This is where you find out, for a team like Penn State, who's never been to a College Cup final, how they're going to react to this adversity.
They played so poised in the semis and quickly up against it here in the final. And a Tar Heel team that brings a ton of high pressure. We'll be talking about their depth throughout the course of the game. They can substitute so much and so freely that they always have fresh legs, putting pressure on the Nittany Lions. Kalia Ohai with the goal in the second minute has UNC on top. Perhaps it's a Carolina team too, Julie, that they've been the cardiac kids the last few games. In fact, their last 3 wins in the tournament have all come in extra time and PKs, so maybe they'd like to settle things early today. Well, let's take a look at the Northwestern Mutual game plan for success for the Tar Heels and the Nittany Lions.
Well, the first one for Penn State, handle the high pressure of UNC, and that's their front three. They bring it all game, and you can see it early on. And also critical for Penn State is for Maya Hayes to stretch the field with her speed. She makes the field larger, which creates space in the midfield for Penn State. And for North Carolina, free up Crystal Dunn. If she's having to play defense the whole game, they're at a disadvantage. And then, of course, what we just saw happen, take advantage of Penn State's back three and then playing even in the back.
And that's our game plan for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Penn State in white, North Carolina in blue. Here's Hayes bringing it back down. A chance for Nairn, the hero in overtime in the semis, and Christine Nairn puts it over the top. The senior out of Arnold, Maryland, and her transformation as a player and a leader this year, a huge reason why the Nittany Lions are into the championship match. In the best condition of her life, changed her whole routine to prepare herself for this season.
And what a nice ball in here. And I think Maya Hayes needs to be a little bit more unselfish. A well-paced ball back, but take that yourself. Drop it, and you got the space to crank it yourself.
This is Crystal Dunn, number 19 in blue. So good on the ball. Lebrano, Ohai, the goal scorer. try to uncork another one. Penn State settling down now in the back a bit. Maddie Evans out to the left flank. Anna Gardner.
And how about for Penn State? Not only are you playing even in the back, which alone against any three front is a scary venture, right? But you've got an under-20 star, World Cup star, in Kalia Ohai. You've got an under-17 World Cup star in Summer Green, right, on the other side. And Lubrano, a senior with a ton of experience. It's a tough task right there.
Yeah, you're not playing the JV squad at all with those scoring personalities, and that will be the challenge for that Penn State defense.
When I asked Erica Walsh how frightening that is, she says, you know what, I'm just happy I have 3 backs. I'm barely able to get 3 backs out there. I might have to start with a 1 back today.
There is Erica Walsh in her 6th season at Penn State. This is the 4th trip to the College Cup, the first time into the finals in program history. Beat her former coach, mentor, and dear friend Mark Krikorian and the Florida State Seminoles on Friday night to get here. Nairn giving chase of Dunn. Well, here's the thing that Penn State hopes to capitalize on the rest of the afternoon, because the 3 backs for Carolina, as talented as they are young, and 2 of the 3 back there are former walk-ons. Both local kids out of Chapel Hill.
Pure walk-ons, who Anson laughs about now and says, I actually tried to convince him not to come to North Carolina. It's such a great story, though, because there's so many kids out there who get discouraged if they're not recruited or not getting a scholarship. And even North Carolina's goalkeeper today, Addie Gay, another walk-on. He tried to convince her not to come, a Yale transfer. I love that story.
And young ladies who wouldn't take no for an answer and were given the opportunity by Anson Dorrance and the coaching staff to prove themselves on the field, and they all took advantage of that opportunity. Hayes lurking, and Gardner will boot it into the crowd.
Now, I think the challenge for North Carolina with some fatigued legs is how do you sustain the pressure? Their system is built on high pressure, winning balls back.
Played in front, Hayes! Unable to put it on the frame. Terrific service from that flank. It's the youngster who was creating so much trouble for Florida State the other night, Mallory Weber, the freshman out of Michigan. Tremendous cross for Hayes. Green working against Chapik. Ohai tried to push it back out wide. Chapik there. Both sides so excited that the conditions have improved vastly since the semis. How about that last chance?
And here's Weber, who I just have been so impressed by early, fighting for that ball and across to Hayes. And oh, God, that's a finish she would pay money for. Give me that in front of goal. Although it's coming across your body, it's not as easy as it looks. Got to get that on frame, though.
Well, the 3rd member of our broadcast team, a former World Cupper and Olympian, Kat Whitehill. Kat, what's the word down on the sideline?
Well, you just talked about the conditions on Friday night. The field isn't as good of condition as it can be at this point, but players are still slipping all over the place. Amber Brooks, number 22 for UNC. The defensive midfielder has already fallen twice, and it's going to be quite difficult to gain your footing. They might need to rethink about their cleats putting in the studs to get better traction.
There, we just saw Nairn slip as well. There's a ball right across the face of goal. Summer Green trying to run on.
Ohai having such good success for UNC, getting behind that back line with her pace. I would be giving her the ball all day. Dunn as well. When she is freed up, this player is special.
Dunn with the ball at her feet against Rodriguez. She'll try and play it across off the ricochet. Yeah, this is Mallory Weber, number 16 in white for Penn State. Looking for Taylor Schramm. Amber Brooks intercepts. Maria Lebrano, one of just 3 Tar Heels. She'll let one fire over the top. One of just 3 Tar Heels on the field the last time they won the national championship in 2009. So the majority of these players, we talk about the tradition, but for most of them, this is their first appearance in a final as well.
The tradition and the pressure. Imagine that. Whenever you talk to a North Carolina player, it's not, you know, did you win a championship? It's how many did you win?
Anson Dorrance, the head coach for the Heels, tries to walk that fine line between embracing that tradition and not bringing it up too often, although it's hard to miss around the Carolina campus. Nairn trying to thread it through, actually hitting off of Schramm, who cut across the middle in front. High by herself right now, 1v3.
Penn State, though, starting to settle down a little bit more. You saw just right now their 3 central midfielders, Nairn, Rodriguez, Maddie Evans, both keeping a little bit of possession. If those 3 can settle them, keep the ball a bit, and then spring Nairn in a position to thread balls, which she's so good at, they're going to have some success because you've got the pace of Maya Hayes and Weber up top.
Fired back up top. Summer Green. There is Ojai, that goal in the 2nd minute, the difference thus far in our national championship match. Now this one will go to Penn State. Well, the NCAA Men's College Cup begins this Friday with both semifinals for you live on ESPNU at 5 and 7:30 Eastern. For tournament coverage and information, log on to ncaa.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. 15th minute here in San Diego, and a 1-0 lead for the Tar Heels, looking for their 21st NCAA championship. Penn State playing in the final for the first time. Number 18, Maddie Evans, the senior out of Glenside, Pennsylvania, their captain. And one of their engines in midfield in this 3-5-2 shape. Ojai pestering Whitney Church. Whitney, the Big Ten Defender of the Year. .50-50 ball.
Some fans may have noticed, and viewers, the red wristband on all North Carolina players. Every single one of them has one on, and this is something they sprung on Anson Dorrance, their head coach, right before the pregame of Friday's semifinal match, and they said they wanted him to stay in the locker room. Melissa Dorrance, the wife of Anson, has been having health issues, and they knew red was her favorite color. So in support of Melissa Dorrance, who is watching today, they wanted to show their support.
Shot knocked down outside the area. Certainly our best wishes as well. Everyone and anybody that's been around the college community is familiar with Melissa.
First Final Four she hasn't made. And he was so touched by it. They said there were some tears in that pregame locker room, of course. And neat to see the players all bond together for Melissa.
The red wristbands in her honor today as she watches back in Chapel Hill. And the quick goal in the 2nd minute for the Tar Heels on top 1-0. Kalia Ohai with the tally, and now Maya Hayes looking for the equalizer. She's had several touches inside the penalty box here in this first half. Lebrano was able to keep it in play. Dunn. Brooks, number 22 in blue, top drawer soccer.com National Player of the Year. And anytime you win a National Player of the Year honor at North Carolina, you get your jersey retired. Now, they've had so many great players there, they can't retire numbers anymore. They just retire jerseys. They've retired 17 of them. Brooks will be the 18th. And a jersey that's already been retired once, the number 22 of Cindy Parlow and the number 22 next year of Amber Brooks. And you can even see Parlow's name right there on her sleeve. Lebrano able to clear it out. And then blasted forward by the Tar Heels.
I think that's such a great idea, too, doing that. It's neat to honor that tradition. And the players like the Mias and the Cindys, they're incredibly touched. I know talking to Mia today, she said, it's so neat to have Crystal Dunn wearing my jersey. I love that she has it on. I mean, she's such a special player who's all about team and playing any position she can to help the team.
Crystal Dunn waits on Lebrano, and not good service out wide. A rare miscue from Dunn. A long ball, and Adelaide Gay is very adventurous in goal for Carolina and will frequently foray out of the penalty box. Good through ball. Gay off her line. The chip over the top. Penn State ties it up. Taylor Schramm with her 5th goal of the season, and we are even at 1 apiece.
And there is the beauty of Christine Nairn from that hole in the center of midfield. If she has space and time, she can thread balls through. And oh, that one was tight on Schramm, walking the line, trying to stay on. What a nice finish, because Addie Gay comes out way out to cut her off. She takes a touch that just beats Addie Gay over the top. But that's Nairn. She can thread balls, she can get players in, and with the space and time, she can get Penn State right back in this game, which she just did.
Taylor Schramm assisted by Nairn evens things up for Penn State. Former Pennsylvania Player of the Year in high school out of Cannonsburg, PA. And another one of those players that was with the U20 World Cup team for the first third of the season before joining her teammates here in State College. Terrific response there from the Nittany Lions.
And that's the calm composure of your senior midfielders. Maddie Evans, Nairn, the 2 captains, saying, you know what, you can feel it on the field. We're fine. We go down early against a team like North Carolina with all that history and tradition. That's frightening at times.
Green trying to get to the end line. And she does, playing it across into the area. Not a good clearance. Carolina still with a chance and finally booted out of there. Well, Julie, it's that kind of composure we've actually seen twice now at the College Cup, because they had the semifinal in the bag and then gave up the tying goal in the 90th minute. And we thought, oh boy, going into overtime, all the momentum was going to be with Florida State, and sure enough, a minute and 2 seconds into the OT, Nairn scores to end it.
And you saw them pull the team together, Nairn and Evans. And I said to Erica Walsh, that was the first thing I noticed was how they got Penn State together. And she said, you know what, I actually stayed out of the huddle because I thought the only thing I can do is screw it up if I go in there. Look at them, they're fine. They're dancing, they were laughing. I mean, this is 40 seconds from getting to the final, and Florida State ties it up.
Well, that's been a motto they've had throughout this season. When they had to make that move to the 3-back, they knew they were going to have to attack a lot. And so that has been sort of the mantra. We've got to be attacking from every spot on the field. Ojai with back to goal. Couple of deflections. Now Dunn's got it to the left foot. Off the one hop. Brought back down by the Tar Heels. And then finally cleared out as Meg Morris tried to play it back in.
And to your point, Beth, about that 3-back, that's one of the beauties of it is you create so many attacking options out of midfield. Sure helps when you have a Taylor Schramm running forward and through. Hard to track that run.
Well, and that's what Erica Walsh told us the other day, you know, the uncertainty of having to go to the 3-back, but over the course of the season, she's loved how it has really unlocked the creativity of her players. They've gotten much better flow upfield as a result of it. They haven't shown really any fear at all in regards of playing North Carolina. Well, they've pretty much, the NCAA tournament has been the ACC tournament for them. This is their 4th ACC opponent of the postseason as we go back to that last goal.
And if there's any question marks to whether Schramm was offside, you're going to see at the point of contact, rolling it back a little bit. We'll look at that again, rolling it back a little bit. She was on. I was going to draw on that bad boy, but I can't. You don't want to see my squiggly line anyways.
Definitely onside. Of course, they had a very close call on the game-winning goal in OT last night when Nairn was towing the line, but was onside. As Erin McNulty will boot it away, the senior from Winnipeg up in Canada, playing in her 2nd championship final. She started out her career at Florida State, played in the final and lost in 2007. Then beat her old team in the semis on Friday night, and here she is trying to get a national championship with her 2nd team. McNulty making the 101st start of her career here today. Beth Mowens, Julie Foudy, Kat Whitehill here in San Diego at Torero Stadium. Even at 1, the Ojai goal in the 2nd minute, getting the Tar Heels up early, and then the response from Taylor Schramm in the 19th to equalize. As you also may have noticed, our clock there up at the top of your screen runs down from 45 minutes to 0. There is no stoppage time added in the college game. If there is an injury or a stoppage on the field, they will just go ahead and stop the clock. They are now in the 25th minute here, Jules.
Another aspect of Crystal Dunn's game that I like is she can play on any line. We've talked about that, but I saw her play outside back with the youth national team, center back for North Carolina, outside midfield, and now she's in the forward position.
Brooks plays one up top. Well done in the back again by Penn State, and that will lead to a breakaway. 2-on-2. Maya Hayes has Weber off to the other side, and Gaze sliding out to reel it in.
A glimpse at the speed of Maya Hayes, and even though she doesn't get a shot on goal there, what that does to that back line for North Carolina is it says, oh, she's fast. We're going to have to keep a little bit of distance, so they love to condense and have a really high line for North Carolina to keep things tight. Maya Hayes are just unable to do that.
Kalia Ojai trying to get away from the double team. Now played in front, but all the Tar Heels had to backtrack a bit to stay onside. Good hustle there by Weber to get to it first. And we're going to have a clock stoppage here. The official wants to have a little chat with Hannah Gardner after mixing it up with Weber. Ted Uncle, the referee for us this afternoon.
And that's good refereeing. Have a chat with him. Don't give the yellow card when it's something like that. How many times do you see the referee go straight to pulling the card instead of just saying next time that'll be a card?
That was the first foul of the match, by the way. It's been very clean, a very good flow. Done. Oh, nice ball out wide to Morris. Morris with a burst. This is Brooks from distance, towed it.
And you're seeing the constant exchange of players and substitution of players. North Carolina, that's where they get you. They just constantly rotate players in and out. And the substitution rules in college allow that to happen. And their system demands so much physically, they have to do that. They couldn't sustain that 3-4-3 high pressure all game without it.
They have 19 field players on their travel roster that are available. They played 16 of them in the semifinal the other night, and they were prepared, had they gone to penalty kicks, to play their second goalie of the night. On the run, the cross headed out by Bowen. Berwin scoots all the way over the end line and a goal kick for Adelaide Gay. The road for the Tar Heels en route to what they hope will be a 21st national championship. No problems early on, but how about that? The PK win over Baylor in the third round, then golden goals to win at BYU and knock out defending champion Stanford in the semifinals. This is the 31st NCAA tournament. No champion has ever had to win 3, possibly 4 matches, depending on what happens today, in extra time. And a close call there for Maya Hayes.
That was tight. And that's the thing with Maya Hayes. She can be quiet in a game, and then all of a sudden she springs up and she reads plays so well. Thinking she got a little nudge there.
Yeah.
That's why she was smiling and shaking her head at the referee.
Katie.
I think that was a good no call, though.
Katie Bowen was giving chase. Gay, the 5th-year senior out of Skillman, New Jersey, started her career at Yale and then transferred in. They were platooning in goal, had 3 different starters in goal this year, and then about midway through the year, the senior leadership group said, hey, we want to go with Adelaide the rest of the way. And she's been the starter since. Anson Dorrance will utilize that kind of feedback from his players throughout the season.
And Adelaide Gay's high style, where she comes so aggressively off her line, usually works out to be okay, because the back line for North Carolina plays so high, so she almost acts like a second sweeper. You need that, but she can get herself in a bit of trouble sometimes.
30th minute now at Torero Stadium in San Diego for the national championship. Kalia Ohai putting Carolina in front in the 2nd minute, and then the equalizer from Taylor Schramm in the 19th. We'll start with Ohai.
And the pace of Ojai, she gets in, she cuts, she gets a little space, and the willingness to just rip it at the top of the box. She's looking, she's going to rip it, and you just can't give a player who's that good in the box that much space on the ball. And then on the other side, you can see when Nairn gets a little bit of time, she can do great things. We will see it.
Ojai, her 9th goal of the season. And her 2nd of this College Cup. She had the golden goal in the semis on Friday night. This will go back to Carolina. Gardner with the throw-in. Freshman out of Chapel Hill replaced the injured Megan Brigman after the first match of the season. Melissa Rich, one of those seniors. She was a substitute in their 2009 championship match victory. Ojai trying to play it across and broken up in the back. Gardner. Ojai will get to it. Watched by Hovington. Tar Heels with some possession, and then Hovington takes it away on the bad pass. This is Amber Brooks trying to chip it back up top, and it's settled by Raquel Rodriguez. Chance again for the Tar Heels with the surge forward. Ojai is going to try and take it. Blocked down in front.
Sometimes you can see the forwards for North Carolina, they're dying, and they don't want the ball, but Carolina doesn't know how to slow down. Sometimes they just need someone to sit on the ball, but that's not their way. It's like, give me a break, please. Just knock it around a little bit in midfield. They just keep going. There's one speed.
Substitutions on both sides. You cannot re-enter once you leave until the second half. If you're taken out in the second half, you can re-enter once again before the end of the match. Both sides using their depth in their semifinal wins the other night. Carolina bench telling Cat Whitehill pregame they wouldn't be surprised if they use everyone available to them. All 19 field players could get out there today.
And that was Anson's biggest concern.
Save, McNulty. Good volley here from the Tar Heels and the one hopper. And the shot by Rich, and that's the first save of the match on either end.
Here's one of your substitutions that we were talking about, Alyssa Rich. Fresh legs, fighting for things, gets it, and has the presence of mind to say, why not take a crack on this? McNulty hasn't been tested, except for the goal.
Corner kick for Carolina. McNulty snags it out of the air. She had Rich right in front of her. McNulty, a huge reason why they are here. They had a penalty kick victory in their third round match as well against Michigan. They were down 2-0 in PKs, and then McNulty made 3 saves in a row. The Nittany Lions scored 3 straight, and they were able to beat Michigan to advance. This is Hayes. Oh, nice cut. Unable to keep her feet, though, as she tried to switch gears. Elby pressing forward. Well done by Elby. Plays it back for Nigro, who couldn't get much on the shot attempts. Let's go back to that 19th minute now, and the nice feed from Nairn to Schramm.
Here it is, the one I was talking about earlier. And you're going to see Nairn when she gets the space and time on the ball. Schramm's going to come in from the outside position. We're going to freeze it here. You're going to see she is onside, clearly onside. And this is where Nairn's so dangerous. She threads balls. And for midfielders coming through, and to have the presence of mind to say, I'm going to get it over this keeper with an angle that's incredibly tight. That is a really nice finish by Schramm.
Gardner. Good job to break up that pass. Evans able to win it in the air there for Penn State. Now Hayes. Penn State unable to make the run at it.
And I think for Penn State going into this second half, there's only 10 minutes left here. One thing they need to think about is, how can we slow this game down? Because if they play at this frantic pace, which is what UNC wants, they're going to die. They're going to be fatigued. Slow it down, hold the ball, possess, and then start finding those little threaded balls.
Rich. And Ojai was offside.
And they have the players that are capable of doing that. We haven't seen much of Raquel Rodriguez because she's been defending so much. She's the one charged with containing Dunn.
This is how the Nittany Lions arrived here in their first championship game in school history. As you can see, they've played their fair share of ACC foes: Boston College, Duke, Florida State, and the one bouncer from Nairn stopped by the fourth ACC opponent they've seen in the tournament. The fifth this year. They're 4-0 against the ACC, far and away the most dominant conference in the country.
And you can see that still with the game tied and North Carolina in the 3 front, Erica Walsh staying in her 3 back. She's choosing not to. Typically, she puts number 7, Patterson, sometimes out at that right back position. She's choosing to stay in the 3-5-2. See Patterson on the left side of your screen there.
Rich. Play it across, brought down into the area. Tar Heels unable to take advantage. So let's see if Penn State can take advantage here. And we've talked about all the substitutions for North Carolina. They like to rest some folks for the second half. Right now, they do not have Ojai, Dunn, or Brooks through the center of the field for North Carolina. So Anson Dorrance going to that bench extensively in the first half. Gardner pushing forward from the back.
Close it, nothing. Hurry, follow.
Nigro in front. Chance for the Tar Heels. Rich trying to turn it. Throwing deep into the corner there for the Tar Heels. As you see, Ojai now on the sideline. She'll be able to return in the second half. McFarland. Nigro, now Renee Premji. Heels trying to build, and a misfire there.
I asked Anson what he was most pleased about from the Stanford semifinal, and he said right away, no hesitation, my reserves. They were magnificent, and this is the importance of them. You can see right here, those critical minutes where you get to rest the Ojais, the Dunns, the Amber Brooks of the team, who are going to come in the second half and pull your team for you.
40th minute. Heading down towards zeros on the clock. No stoppage time added in the college game. And the push against Penn State. Well, we've got a couple of ranked teams highlighting Tuesday night's doubleheader of college basketball for you on ESPNU. It's Louisville and the College of Charleston, Tuesday at 9 Eastern. And then UNLV Portland at 11 o'clock. That's also available on the Watch ESPN app. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Always a terrific time of year. You've got the soccer championships, the volleyball championships, the tournament coming up the next couple of weeks on the ESPN networks. Of course, Penn State, the women's volleyball team, favored to win another national championship. And these two programs involved in two of the best streaks in women's college athletics history. This Carolina soccer team we've talked so much about, of course, they had two unbeaten streaks of over 100 wins over the illustrious course of this program. How about actual win streaks? Well, Penn State volleyball, when they won 4 championships in a row with 109. The Tar Heel soccer team with 92 straight, and UConn basketball with 90 in a row. Penn State volleyball will be on the family of networks next weekend for the NCAA tournament. And the UConn women's basketball team playing in the Jimmy V Classic against Maryland tomorrow night on ESPN. Just incredible, though, this Carolina soccer team, that winning streak. They had a 103-match unbeaten streak, lost in the 1990 season, I believe, to UConn, that one match. And then right after that, they went on another unbeaten streak of 101 games in a row without a loss.
From 90 to 94. So 200 and
205?
204? That was my math. It's not very good anymore.
Just extraordinary over the course of their 20 NCAA titles. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. We'll chat with both of our head coaches coming up on our halftime report. Get you updated on the Men's College Cup next weekend in Birmingham. And then talk about the success of Penn State athletics in the wake of all that they've been through over the course of the last year or so. On the field, extraordinary job done by their coaches and student athletes in all of the sports in State College. Football coach Bill O'Brien has really taken over a leadership role, not just for his team, but for the entire athletic department.
That's so great to hear and see, because it could be so easy as a football coach to get so consumed in all your issues, to not pay attention to the other programs, and you never hear that with him.
Erica Walsh said he set the bar, and everybody has been more than happy to step right in line and get with the winning program. Almost able to link up with Hayes. Another nice play by Murray in the back. Katie Bowen. Miscommunication there, and Penn State will get the goal kick. Minute and a half to go.
North Carolina's just hoping, let's get into half. 1-1. We've got all our starters on the bench right now, or many of them, up the middle, the spine of the team, in the front line. Get them rested and come out with guns blazing in that second half.
The back line, the back three have all played out there throughout this first half. The substitutions coming in midfield and up front. Save there by McNulty as we hit the 45th minute. Interesting, Anson, always the numbers nerd and loves his statistics. They actually worked with the folks at Nike and discovered that it wasn't the backs or the midfielders that ran the most in this system, but it was the forwards applying the high pressure that ran the most.
I'm sure Mia could tell you plenty of tales about that.
Gay again comes out of the box, has to use the boot.
They ask so much of them because that's their whole system, those forwards. Lose the ball and then put pressure on it. Win it right back in our own half.
Covington losing her footing, able to get just enough of it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hayes tried to bring it down as the first half comes to a close. Carolina scoring Murray to Ojai in the second minute. And then Nairn setting up Schramm for Penn State in the 19th. And our national championship match is even at 1 apiece.
Our halftime entertainment will begin in just a few moments.
45 minutes to go. The Tar Heels wanting a 21st national championship. Penn State hoping for the first in program history. Down to the field, here's Kat.
All right, thanks, Beth. After the first 5 minutes, it seems like your team settled down. Did you make any adjustments during the half?
We actually talked about the same thing happened on Friday night. We gave up too much of the play in the first 5 minutes against Florida State. We addressed it this morning, but the same issue continues. But once we settled down a little bit, we didn't make any adjustments. The players just relaxed and started to play.
North Carolina played a lot of that first half without most of their starters. What are you going to tell your team, and how do you prepare for when they do play a lot more minutes in the second half?
We're just going to worry about ourselves right now. We've got to find Christine Nairn the ball, Maya Hayes, Rocky Rodriguez. You know, we're playing too much of Carolina's style, and that's what they do. They press you and they make you give the ball up, and they've done a nice job with it. But we've also seen the moments, Schramm's run for the goal. We've seen enough good moments that we're going to focus on those times.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Beth?
Thank you very much, Kat. An early strike for Carolina from Kaylee Ojai, giving them the lead, and then coming right back is Schramm to equalize. It came early here, Julian, just the second minute.
And this was the directive from Anson Dorrance. He wanted to press that back three for Penn State by dumping balls in behind. And here you see Ojai. Covington just not getting back quick enough and then not stepping quick enough. Ojai, though, with a great shot to get the early lead for North Carolina. And that's what they're going to continue to do in this second half, is dump those balls in. It's not going to be the prettiest game. Play direct and then press. And then if they lose it, win it back right away.
Yeah, the Penn State sideline thought they might have been offsides on that, but our replays, it looked like Ojai was right along the line and was able to stay onside. And that put them up in the second minute. Then Taylor Schramm times the run perfectly on this assist from Nairn.
And runs from midfield are so hard to track. Midfielders hate to do this, and this is the beauty of Nairn. She's just going to thread that ball in. Schramm is onside. Addie Gay coming a bit too far out, and she's got a chance to chip her over the top. Well done there. Tried to cut the angle off, but if she's going to come, she's got to get something on that there, or stay closer a little bit to her line.
Down to the field now, Kat has Anson Dorrance.
Anson, you went to the four-back pretty early on. How worried are you with the legs and the fact that you went to double overtime on Friday night?
Well, that's a factor, but the main factor is Penn State is making our defense look like Swiss cheese. I mean, they're running through it. Hayes is a phenomenal player, and Nairn's ability to play that final ball in is just exquisite. And so we got to be a bit more conservative because they're just making us look very, very weak in the back. And so we had to go to that just to protect ourselves. And so hopefully we can stay in that system, maybe steal one and make something happen. But honestly, it's out of respect for the personalities they have on the field.
So the main adjustment will be a four-back. You're going to stay in that, not go to the three-back that you started out with?
You never say never, but right now we're certainly going to start the half in the 4-2-3-1 and then make our adjustments from there.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Beth?
Thank you very much, Kat. Well, that's something that Anson Dorrance saw, actually, the four-back with the French Women's World Cup team a couple of years ago, and liked the way that they played in it, and he has utilized that from time to time to rest his starters. Let's see, even when they come back into the lineup now, if they will stay that way and for how long. 9 shots for Carolina, 3 on goal, 4 for Penn State, 2 on goal. Each side has found the back of the net once.
I just wish Anson Dorrance would speak his mind a little bit. Be a little bit more transparent. It's hard to read him.
He holds back, doesn't he? One of the more entertaining personalities in all of college athletics. You got a lot to be happy about when you've won 20 championships in 30 years in this, the 31st Women's College Cup.
Well, and this is atypical of him because he just does not like to leave his 3-4-3. Katie Bowen's the one he's going to have there starting in that center back position to try and shore up that back line.
Chance here at a set piece for the Tar Heels and the quick corner kick. Murray coming up top. Kelly McFarland is starting out on the left flank for the Tar Heels in the second half. She's on that back post. Brooks also a good target, trying to make a backside run. And the header and a goal! Carolina scores again! Right out of the locker room.
Gardner always one of their targets, and you can see she's just coming in there completely unmarked. No one tracking her, no one put a body on her. Makes it look easy, but she does well to come in against Chapik there and head it home, and that is a nightmare start to the second half for Penn State. Once again tested early on their reaction to adversity. And exactly as UNC wanted. They rest their players. They say they want to come out fast, strong, put one away early again.
Hannah Gardner from East High in Chapel Hill, the freshman who grew up right across the street from the Carolina practice facility back in Chapel Hill. And the player we mentioned earlier who didn't even make the trip out to Portland for their first game of the season. Wasn't on the travel roster, but then the injury to defender Megan Brigman, they had to throw Gardner into the fire, and she's been in the starting lineup since. And here they come pushing forward again. And it will be another corner kick for the Tar Heels.
See if Penn State makes any adjustments.
Katie Bowen, the freshman from New Zealand, who took that last corner kick to get the assist. Back at it.
And you can see Penn State loves the zone. They're all zoning. They only have one or two players man marking. Brooks and Murray are the two they're man marking. Everyone else is a zone.
Another corner into the area, and Gardner almost got to it again. Interesting that they choose not to man mark her there on the second time.
Now, and I'm actually not a fan of going so much zone. I think you zone the 6 and then you put a body on other players because you need that contact just to disrupt their run a little bit, get them off balance.
Of course, the zonal marking always a fun discussion, especially during some of the international matches.
It was the downfall of, I thought, the German team. They zoned in on their corner kicks, ended up losing, living or dying by those set pieces. The 2011 World Cup didn't even qualify for the Olympics.
So Carolina scores 2 minutes into the game. They scored less than a minute into the second half. Penn State responded the first time around. What do they got now? Trying to bring home their first national championship, and this the first time in the finals for all of their players except their goalkeeper, Erin McNulty, who played in the finals in '07 with Florida State before transferring into Happy Valley. Trying to get it out wide to Ojai, and nearly botched there by Chapik, and Carolina will have the throw in.
And beyond the fact that you're trying to make up for the goal differential now for Penn State, they're going against fresh players who've been sitting for a lot of that first half. So they got some fatigue issues as well.
Green. Now Ojai, she's got some time. And scoots over the top of the crossbar. The one thing that Penn State has done well thus far, they have kept Crystal Dunn relatively quiet But some other folks obviously picking up the slack.
Yeah, and in keeping Crystal Dunn quiet, Raquel Rodriguez, number 11, has assumed much of that responsibility, and she is the playmaking as well holding midfielder for Penn State. And when you're having to spend all your time defending a player like Dunn, you lose on the other end of the ball. And there is Raquel Rodriguez, Costa Rican international, who's so good for a freshman in terms of finding space, reading the pressure, getting out of tight spaces.
She led the Big Ten with 7 assists this year. They'd love to get her a set piece or two. They really like the way that she textures the ball on free kicks. Trying to play it all the way through to Weber. Ball was there, and now Murray back to Gay. Has to keep it at her feet. Rodriguez tried to flick it back the other way, and it was off of her arm. Handball.
The other benefit of Anson deciding to go into that 4-2-3-1 is it shores up his midfield a bit as well, because they were playing a player down for much of that first half. Now you'll have some bodies around Nairn and try and contain her playmaking abilities.
Katie Bowen, a member of the New Zealand national team pool, sends that one into the area and nodded backwards instead of forward by Chapik. What they've done is they've thrown Bowen into the back now as that 4th defender for the Tar Heels, dropping her centrally. Green, Ojai and Dunn trying to get there as well. And cleared out by Whitney Church, the sophomore from Ashburn, Virginia, the Big Ten Defender of the Year, who Erica Walsh says she'd be shocked if she's not watching her play for the United States in the World Cup one day. That ball managed to stay on the field. Ojai wins the foot race. And then touches it over the side.
Whitchurch, as they call her, as we've said, and she's a starting, she was their holding defensive center mid last year, but due to the injuries to the center backs, that was part of that 3-5-2 switch. She goes, I didn't even have a center back. I had to use a holding freshman midfielder, and she's turned out to be the greatest surprise in the back line. She's done so well.
They have gotten, Julie, composed play at every level for them. Defense, midfield, front line, all season long. Here is Dunn with the left foot, tried to sneak it in the front door. McNulty had the near post covered.
An unusually quiet game for Dunn, but this is the beauty of North Carolina. They lose a ball and they press. They're going to get it back, and there's those forwards working as hard as they can. An angle that she really didn't have much on goal there.
This is a Penn State team that led the nation in scoring this year, so I don't imagine we would see much panic yet. There's still plenty of time. Once again, in college soccer, the clock runs down from 45-0. We are early in this second half in a 2-1 Carolina lead. They are in the blue. Penn State in the white jerseys. Emily Hurd trying to get to the end line. Denied by Satara Murray. '55th minute here at Torero Stadium in San Diego. Beth Mowens, Julie Foudy, Catherine Whitehill. Raquel Rodriguez to Christine Nairn. Crystal Dunn. Oh, she tried to get it to Green in the middle. They had Ojai wide open, running up the right flank, couldn't reach her. More high pressure. Traffic able to avoid it, but the giveaway to Bowen. Brooks, she forced that one.
Chapik wanting to give it to the feet, and Maya Hayes wanting to get in behind. But this may actually, for Penn State, I'm looking at this with Carolina going to the one front. It may end up being a bit of a blessing in disguise because it gives their three-back a rest. They've been going against even numbers all game. They're exhausted. Gives them a little bit of a rest if they can get a hold of the ball, make Carolina start chasing and get back into their rhythm. They may be able to sneak one back.
Murray plays it back to Gay. Out to midfield, trying to link up with McFarland. Oh, well played by Dunn. Ojai with some room to move. Kalia Ojai with a goal in the first half, and the cross to no one in particular. Church got it out of there. And the turnover, Morris. Good ball to Ojai, coming up the flank. Ojai keeps the cross low, and Church is there. Here comes the counterattack from Penn State, Christine Nairn. Evans, back to Nairn. Good two-man game there, and now some space. Weber. The cross lets them down after a good build out of the back.
What a nice sequence, though, for Penn State. Weber, you could hear her scream from all the way on the other side of the field, knowing she needed to get that at least across the face of the goal. And here's the sequence. Schramm busting out of midfield again, finding Weber wide open on that opposite flank. Not a lot of options to the back, but Maya Hayes is thinking, if I can get to that near post, I may be able to beat her in there.
First substitution of the second half here. North Carolina will get Alyssa Rich on. She replaces Summer Green, who can re-enter. The substitutions change in the second half. You can re-enter once. Murray to Ojai. Taken away by Chapik. Right back to Murray. Good ball to Rich. Waiting for some folks to arrive in front. Rich tries to go around the defender.
And there's your fresh legs again. Rich has just come on. I mean, this is the thing that just gets you. They just keep rotating players in. Here's Rich on the flank, trying to face up Church. Mentality that all Carolina players have. Face up and get in that box.
Another substitution just on. Elby returns for Carolina. Dunn looking to turn. Crystal Dunn, she'll let it go in traffic. Church got it in front. Weber. Rich managing to stay onside, but can't bring it back in front. So Anson Dorrance, as he has done throughout this season, we saw it in the semis Friday. That's one of the best players in the country right there, who will still come off for a few minutes. Crystal Dunn can re-enter. Now into the 60th minute. Tar Heels scoring early in the first and early in the second, and a 2-1 lead in between Taylor Schramm, a goal for Penn State. And we have yet to mention Maya Hayes' name up top in attack yet for Penn State in this second half. Left up in the air, still on the field. Murray. Starting to see here, Julie, too, more hustle, better physical play on the flanks from the Tar Heels. They seem to be winning more of the balls along the outside.
And with that 3-back for Penn State, there's just going to be big old gaps on that flank, and that's what they're capitalizing on right now.
We've got some college basketball coming your way on Tuesday night. A doubleheader for you on ESPNU starting at 9 Eastern with Louisville and the College of Charleston. Then at 11 Eastern, UNLV and Portland. Tuesday night hoops on ESPNU. Also available on the Watch ESPN app. The home court of college hoops. Nairn couldn't contain.
What you're seeing when we talk about Maya Hayes not having called her name, we haven't called her name much, is she's left all alone up top right now. They're dropping into a really deep system, Penn State. Mallory Weber's dropping all the way back into midfield because they're having that success on the flanks, and she's left all alone up top. And when you can't hold the ball, it's hard to get numbers around you, so you're playing with that lone front target.
Hayes has a handful of game-winning goals this season, but Penn State shotless thus far in the second half.
And look at that shot. That says it all. 1v4 right there. That's what she's playing against. And that's what the North Carolina system does to you when they keep pressing. Even though they're in that 4-2-3-1, they're still pressing.
Tar Heels starting to win more balls. Here's Ojai with a chance in the area. Her cross. Penn State gets it out. Good hustle there coming in from Taylor Schramm, the goal scorer in the first half, and she wins the foul.
And they drop Taylor Schramm inside, and she's the only one that's getting any type of penetration coming out of that midfield space. Got to see a little bit more out of Evans getting forward. You're going to have to get Nairn forward. There's got to be some numbers around Maya Hayes so she's not isolated up there. And you're looking at your under 30 minutes now. When do you turn it, right? When do you start taking those chances? They're going to wait a little bit longer, try and keep it at 2-1. And then you're going to have to turn it up a notch and start taking more chances.
Katie Bowen to put it in play. Gardner. And the Tar Heels will get a corner kick. Katie Bowen will take her time. She's coming from midfield. They're walking up to take this corner kick. They'll work some clock. And another substitution. Premji back on for the Tar Heels.
Still, you're seeing Penn State. Look at all those zones in the 6 there. You got Amber Brooks at the bottom of your screen, 22 being man marked by Maddie Evans, but Gardner, number 71, the goal scorer on the prior corner, wide open. You can see her there.
Bowen with the corner kick, headed for Gardner. She's got it, back on goal, redirected in front, saved off the line once, but not twice. Murray with her first goal of the season.
And
you
once
said
again,
it, Julie.
It's living or dying by that zone. And when you leave someone wide open like that, especially Gardner, who's so good in the air, you just create an opportunity for that ball to come back in again. I think you got to pull someone out of your zone, put a body on her, and that's what's going to happen. There's so many bodies in there. Murray does well to keep it low enough to stay in. But that creates a large hole for Penn State to try and crawl out of now, especially with the fatigue of some of those players having played the entire game. They're not resting like the North Carolina players are.
They had man-marked a couple of players. They left Gardner open once on a corner, and she scored, and they chose not to man-mark her again there. And she sets up Murray for her first goal of the season. The defender coming through with the finish. Amber Brooks. Things starting to open up now for Carolina. McNulty got a piece of it as it was going wide, and here comes another corner kick. And let's see what they do this time with number 71 in blue. With Mia Hamm looking
cheering him on. Here's the Amber Brooks run to get the corner coming out of midfield.
They will leave Gardner alone again. No, wait, now they're going to move one of the defenders over. Maddie Evans will man Mark Gardner. Looking for Gardner again. Almost got to it. Knocked down in front by Rich. Now the field now really starting to slant towards the Carolina side. Run a play almost extensively in their scoring zone here in the last 10 minutes. The offside flag goes up. '66th minute and a 3-1 lead. There's always history when Carolina is involved with those 20 national championships. No team at Carolina has ever come to the College Cup and won a title with this many losses. In fact, 5 losses on the year, the most for Anson Dorrance since his very first season 34 years ago. And they don't care one little bit about it. They only want to win the late ones. Getting hot at the right time. Elby gonna send it in low, and they'll add another one to the tally. And the offside flag is up, no goal. Lebrano thought she had another one. And the Tar Heels now peppering away at the Penn State defense.
And you can see the fatigue and the momentum, the shift. They're just battling to get through every time. Still on sides, and that's the one they're talking about. I think that's a good call.
Yep. Well done. It was the first player in there, Premji, I believe. Goals from Ojai, Gardner, and Murray for Carolina. Schramm with one for Penn State will stop the clock here. Waiting for the ball to come back into play. Well, now Penn State's got to try and find a way to get the ball to the feet of Christine Nairn and see if she can create and start playmaking. But right now they are just unable to possess.
And you know, when you hear the 4-2-3-1 system that Anson said he was dropping into, you often think it's just going to drop into a bunker. You're up a goal, you're going to sit back, you're going to kind of contain it. That's not what they've done. I give full credit to Carolina. They dropped into that 4-2-3-1, but they kept flying players forward. So it's been tough for Penn State to manage and get a hold of the ball.
Well, we talked about this earlier, truly, Julie. The substitution rules for college soccer really allow Anson Dorrance to utilize the depth of this North Carolina program. That last goal was scored without Amber Brooks or Kaylia Ojai on the field. The reserves have been extraordinary here at the College Cup. Murray got there before Hayes could. Here is Nairn trying to get something going for Penn State.
I think you look at the clock, 20 minutes, you got to start taking now more chances. Right, you're 3-1 up. What's the difference of 4-1 at this point? Right, you got to take some chances offensively by sending some numbers. Cannot have Maya Hayes standing there with 4 blue around her.
Time not working in the favor of Erica Walsh and the Nittany Lions now into the 70th minute. Rich able to hang around and get it. Lebrano lets her rip.
And you think about some of the adversity that this Carolina team has gone through. Beth, you already talked about the 5 losses this year, more than any other North Carolina squad. But then with Anson missing a lot of stuff with Melissa Dorrance's health, Cindy Parlow's been running all their training sessions.
We talked earlier, those red wristbands that all the players and coaches are wearing. Melissa Dorrance. Best wishes to her to get well soon. That's her favorite color, and the players all wearing it for her today. Missing her first College Cup, resting at home. Even more extraordinary by the fact that in the 31 College Cups, the Tar Heels have had to come here, have been here 26 times. This is their 24th appearance in the national championship match. They are the most successful women's team in college athletics history, and when you throw in the guys as well, just a couple of wrestling teams and a golf team are better than they have been. High over the crossbar, but Penn State trying to surge forward.
And better from Penn State because you had Schramm coming through out of the midfield. You had Maddie Evans in there. Maddie Evans knowing if I can get this on frame, get a goal, sneak one back, we are back in this game.
Well, fans, we want to remind you too, today's winning team will receive 60 points towards their school's quest for the Capital One Cup. For more information, log on to ESPN.com/Capital One Cup. Off the ricochet, we'll go back to McNulty. Hayes again. Now it's 1v7 in the back. Finally, Nairn coming up to join her in the penalty area. Throw in Penn State. Throw in for North Carolina. Kaylia Ohai started things off early for Carolina. Schramm equalized in the 19th minute, and a couple of goals here in the second half. Hannah Gardner, Satara Murray, 3-1 in favor of UNC. And one of the things you really have to love about Anson Dorrance in this program, the way they've won over the years, and he's still changing, still adapting, still learning. They changed up their fitness in recent years to be more like the Korean men's national team. They have switched up their alignment, as Kat Whitehill reported earlier, and not always going to the 3-back like the French women's national team. Never resting on their laurels in Chapel Hill.
You can see Penn State going to the 4-back, so they're going to switch to a 4-3-3 is my guess, going with Kehoe on that back line, pulling out Weber, trying to get some numbers forward in that 4-3-3 system.
Long shot from Carolina won't go. Dorrance and Bill Palladino, Chris Ducar, Cindy Parlow-Cone, the coaching staff. Have done another extraordinary job getting their team prepared to be the best when it counts the most, and that's in December at the College Cup. There's Palladino in the hat, Ducar without the hat, and Palladino then a ponytail stepping forward for us. 3 national titles and a couple National Player of the Year honors to go with her international gold.
There's Cindy. It's great to see that Anson, too, had the trust to say, I love what you're doing. Help me here run sessions. She's been taking every session.
Dunn. Can they get another? And they do! Assist to Dunn to find Renee Premji, the senior from Canada, out in front. And what a moment for Premji, whose dad is a club coach, coming from Alberta to go to Carolina camps as a youngster in Chapel Hill.
Dunn just working that inline like she does all the time, very similar to what we saw with the under-20 team and their win over Germany this summer. So versatile and such an engine. She is all over the place.
Scrum for the loose ball, and we're going to have another clock stoppage here as the referee will chat with a couple of the players. And the yellow card now coming out on Corey Chapek. As you see the goal scorer, Premji.
Premji usually on the other side of the ball assisting. Was the attacking center midfielder before North Carolina, before Crystal Dunn went into that, slid into that position when ball came back healthy.
Knotted out of there by Penn State. The score holds. Carolina will add to this rich tradition in a rather unconventional way, as Hayes able to keep it in, making the late run. They'll get the corner kick. But with the 5 losses, 3 of which were shutouts, by the way. Rarely is Carolina shut out.
Yeah, unconventional. But I was just thinking, what we've seen today is exactly how Anson Dorrance would map it out, right?
Yep.
Run them and gun them and wear them down to the point Penn State just couldn't handle fitness-wise to stay with them because they're floating so many players in. And then on top of that, you have players that are willing to just leave everything on the field for you, whether you're the 21st player or the star of the team.
Another corner coming up here. Penn State's got to get one back soon to try and turn things back in their favor a bit. Gonna play it in front and knotted right at the keeper. Gay able to hang on. Just the second save that she has had to make today. Check that. That was the first save of the day for the Carolina keeper. Bree Garcia now on for Penn State. Three straight wins in extra time for Carolina to get here to the championship, and they are trying their best to make sure that there will not be any extra time necessary this afternoon. Green, she lost it. Murray is there. Murray, all kinds of time over the crossbar.
What a game Murray's had today with that pace.
Terrific.
Anytime Maya Hayes has been through, Murray's been right there for her.
Well, the NCAA Men's College Cup coming your way Friday with both semifinals live on ESPNU at 5 and 7:30 Eastern on Friday night. The national semifinals. For tournament coverage and information, log on to ncaa.com. Your home for all 89 NCAA championships. Amber Brooks coming back on. Huge second half for the Tar Heels. They have outshot Penn State 11-4. They have outscored them 3-0. And they are inching closer to NCAA title number 21 and their first since 2009. For this senior class that includes Brooks and the goalkeeper Gay, Lebrano trying to bookend her career with national championships. But the bulk of these Tar Heels will be back next year. Dangerous back pass. This could be the end of the line for Christy Nairn, the senior Maddie Evans as well, and Erin McNulty, their goalkeeper. But a majority of the Nittany Lions will be returning as well. Now into the 80th minute here in San Diego. Done. Well, the other thing too, Julie, about this Carolina team, it hasn't been the brilliant goal scorer, the brilliant attacking talent. It's been very much a team effort and a balanced scoring effort all year long. They had 8 different goal scorers through the first 5 games of the NCAA tournament. They've got 4 different goal scorers here in the championship.
And yet what you see in critical moments is you see big players stepping up. Ojai and Dunn connecting in that semifinal. Dunn in this whole postseason, her 5 goals, the team said over and over again, she just carried us through with all those tight games we've been talking about. The BYU game, they thought they were knocked out of twice. They had 2 goal line saves. Right? She ended up coming back and scoring the winner in the second OT. And I think those 2 players in particular, Ojai and Dunn, are players we're going to see playing for the U.S. No question. I mean, think about all the attacking options the U.S. has coming forward for them.
And here is Ojai on the ball. You want to talk about pressure, not just winning for the Tar Heel family, but winning for her own family. Kaylea's older sister, Megan, has a national championship ring with USC in 2007. And now the kid's sister going to join her. If this score holds through the final 9 minutes, maybe able to add her second goal. Nope, offside.
And that's the thing about North Carolina, up 4-1, 8 minutes to play. Some teams would be trying to just hold it. And
there's no off switch, is there?
No, there is no off switch. They're going to still fly players. They're going to go.
Anson Dorrance calls it the gift of fury. Their ability to bring it on every possession, every 50-50 ball, every attack. And he gets his players to do something that can be difficult for female athletes, especially the younger ones, is go out and express your self-confidence. That's what we want you to do in a game. And that doesn't always come easy for this age group, but it does for the Tar Heels, who are the most successful program in women's college athletics. Oh, good ball here. Weber. And look who it is again, Murray backtracking to help. Gay trying to keep it in. It'll be a corner kick. Nairn will take it. Gay able to get up there first. Played back in by the Nittany Lions. Chapek now Nairn. Good ball in front and just wide from Taylor Schramm, the goal scorer in the first half.
Not surprising, you're seeing the two players on the end of that. Nairn serving it across. Garcia getting to it first. Nairn here gets it, serves it across, and there's Maddie Evans on that back post. Second really good look for her today. And you look at those two seniors and you think the pride they must have in this season and what they've done. And what this team has done. Even though this didn't end, or may not end, there's still 6.5.
Yeah, still a chance, still a chance. But nonetheless, 21 wins on the season. Their first trip to this national championship match. A semifinal to remember with the golden goal from Nairn.
And those two have a chance to keep playing with the announcement of the new Women's League.
Pro League will be in, what, is it 8 cities that have been announced?
8 cities.
With some new management getting involved, which is encouraging for the future. USA Soccer also with some financial backing.
One MLS franchise in Portland.
We plan to have that up and running already by next spring. Man, amazing to think about, but the next World Cup up in Canada, coming up faster than we think. Now 85th minute, Tar Heels trying to put the finishing touches on another national championship. How about Dunn there directing traffic, saying, hey, everybody stay on side. This is Rich, back to Dunn. Gonna turn, leave it for Ojai, sets it up with the left, offline. That's what we were talking about with the new league, hopefully coming to a city near you in spring of 2013. Going to see if we can coax Cat Whitehill to get back out there. Get the boots on again. The shot low, and McNulty almost mishandled that one, and a second opportunity will get to another corner kick. It has been a constant barrage in this second half. North Carolina, too strong, too deep, too athletic at some spots. Yeah, they have been overpowering here in the final 45 minutes. Dunn back to clear it up. New goalkeeper in the game as well. You just saw Daly in goal. Anna Daly, the senior out of Lake Tahoe, one of 5 goalkeepers on the roster. Save McNulty. 3.5 minutes to go. What has been an emotional weekend for the Tar Heel family and Coach Anson Dorrance trying to get another championship to bring back home to Chapel Hill.
When they introduced the red wristbands on the pregame of the semifinal match on Friday night, and said this was for Melissa Dorrance. There were tears shed, and he said, thank you. This has been one of the toughest years of my career. And how fitting with all that adversity.
And again, our best wishes that Melissa's able to recuperate and be back with the Tar Heels at their next trip to the College Cup, whenever that may be. If history is any indication, it might be next year. It will be much closer to home back in Cary, North Carolina next year. And the substitution and a nice hand from the Tar Heel faithful for Crystal Dunn, the All-American, who might pick up a Mac Herman National Player of the Year trophy before her career is done.
Another shot of Mia Hamm, Wendy Gebauer, Palladino on the left, Carrie Sanchez on the right of your screen. Some legends for North Carolina. And that is, when you look at it, the 20 national titles. This would be the 21st NCAA title, 22nd national title. The dominance over so many years. And as we all know in collegiate sports, staying consistently great is so hard to do.
Well, with a pretty comfortable lead right here, that's something that our Kat Whitehill is familiar with as a senior, winning the final 6 zip. Kat, what are the emotions like right now as a player down there on that sideline?
Well, obviously you're excited, and they're starting to play. A lot of their seniors are getting excited when they go down, trying to score even more.
McNulty having to make another save.
Yeah, but it's one of those moments in your career where if you're a senior, you want to finish out on top, and you want to finish the way that you started. And for players like Amber Brooks and Marina Lebrano, they won their freshman year, and now they get to win their senior year. And it's special. It's special when you bookend it. It's actually what I did, and it's something that you look back on, and as a leader, it's something that you're very proud of, that you helped cultivate that and this team into a winning championship. And especially in a year that's been so hard for this team, they were able to come together and do this well, especially against a great Penn State team.
Maria Lebrano, another set piece here.
And I'm sure head coach Erica Walsh for Penn State will be saying to her team when she gets them in the huddle, I am so proud of what you were able to do with so much thrown at you as well.
Here's Anson Dorrance watching the seconds tick off the clock, and Erica Walsh for the first time into this final, hoping that she can get the Nittany Lions back again soon. It will be tough to replace all that Nairn and McNulty have been able to do for them this year. Final minute here in San Diego. And one of the more improbable seasons in Carolina history, it ends the way oh so many of them have. On top of their game when it counts the most in the College Cup. 31 years of this tournament, and it will be the 21st time that the trophy will be headed back to Chapel Hill. Nice save by Daly to put it up over the top of the crossbar as the final seconds now ticking away. Under Carolina blue skies here in Southern California, the Tar Heels have won the 2012 National Championship. They give themselves National Coach of the Year honors. The 21st looks as good as the first for the current crop of Tar Heels, as they will take home the championship trophy. And Kat Whitehill now has Coach Anson Dorrance.
Thanks, Coach. In a year like this, how much does this championship mean to you?
Well, it never gets old. It's always a different collection of kids. We have different competitors, and I've really enjoyed the year. These kids were a lot of fun to be with the whole time, and I really think they overachieved. I'm very proud of them.
When you went up 4-1, you were able to sub in a lot of your seniors. You always talk about making sure that they win for the seniors. What does that mean for you to be able to get those players in?
Well, you know what? They all wanted to finish up the game on the field. Obviously, we had to take Addie out to play Hannah Daly. But what a great group of leaders. It was just a really, really enjoyable year for me, and they had all kinds of adversity, and they weathered it. They played for each other, and so I couldn't be happier.
How many more titles do you think you have in you after this one?
Well, you know, I'm going to treasure this one. If it ever happens again, you know, that's great. But you know what? I'm enjoying life.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beth?
Thank you, Catherine Anson Dorrance. And the North Carolina Tar Heels celebrating the national championship. And for Tar Heel fans, this one is indeed for the coach's wife. And we certainly hope that she feels better soon back in Chapel Hill. With some of the legends of the game looking on, the current Tar Heels win it 4-1 over Penn State in our championship match. And we'll be back after this.